Crimson Trace introduces a line of feature-rich world-class rifle scopes. This new line features 8 custom-designed reticles for specific applications, as well as a full lifetime warranty on all scopes. Find out more at crimsontrace.com.
Hey, y'all. It's Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Oh, look out. We're smoking.
All right, welcome back. Tom Gresham here. It is Gun Talk. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN or Tom Talk Gun. A lot of things going on. Of course, we're talking about what's going on with Walmart, Walgreens, and everybody else in the culture wars. If you'd like to join in, your take on that. The question is, are you going to continue shopping at Walmart? I'd love to know what's going on there. You know, we talk about, well, what can I do for the Second Amendment? Well, how long have we been telling you? Take somebody out. Just take somebody to the range and introduce somebody to the shooting sports. You know, take them hunting, take them shooting, do something like that. And people have been doing that. But now there's a real organized way to do that. And to talk about that, Bill Dunn joins us right now from the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Hey, Bill, how are you, sir?
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So, all right, we have this a plus one movement. What is that?
Well, the plus one movement is an initiative that the National Shooting Sports Foundation has put together, and we're trying to recruit everybody in the country to get on board with this. And it's the most simple message in the world. Take somebody new, like you just said. Imagine if every single person in the country who's a gun owner just brought one new person to the range. We could double our ranks instantly. And it's really that easy. The more people get out there and do it, like the stronger the future of the shooting sports is going to be.
I remember some years ago, I think it was NSSF did a survey, and this was, I think we do it with women, but they said that half the women said that if someone would ask them to go shooting, they would. And I think that probably is true across the board, which kind of brings me to, is it really as simple as just inviting somebody?
It really is. Yeah. Like you said, the vast majority of people in this country, nearly every single person, if you ask them to go shooting, they'd be happy to go. And you know, when you bring somebody new, it changes things. Like people that are afraid of guns, all of a sudden, they learn what it's all about. They learn how safe it is, and they learn how fun it is, and everybody loves it. And you really are making a difference.
Well, you know, I've said for years that when you do that, you actually vaccinate them, because nobody can tell them that people with guns are bad, because now they've become a person with a gun, they've shot, and they've had fun, and they go, well, no, my personal experience tells me that you're wrong, and that's darn powerful. Oh, yeah, it really is. So, okay, you got the plus one movement. One of the keys I know is that people say, well, I don't know what to do. I could invite somebody, but then what? And that's kind of where you've got their backs on this, right?
Yeah, we put together a great website. If you go to letsgoshooting.org, we have a ton of resources there, and we created a plus one movement section of that. And the whole purpose of that section is to kind of give you some tips on how to make that first experience the best it could possibly be. And another thing we just launched is the Plus One Pledge. So we'd encourage everybody that's listening right now to go to letsgoshooting.org and take the Plus One Pledge. We were recently blown away the fact that more than 500,000 people have gone on there and pledged to take somebody new.
Wait a minute. Wait. I remember when you were talking about the plus one movement, the goal was to hit 100,000, right?
Yeah, and we've hit 500,000. And it just blew our mind. We set out this initial goal to say, hey, we want to introduce 100,000 new people, and here we are. And it's already, we've introduced over 500,000 new people through this.
This is over what period of time?
This is just over the past couple of months, which is mind-blowing.
Holy cow, 500,000 people in a couple of months. That's crazy.
Yeah. August was National Shooting Sports Month, so we really kind of turned up the volume on this campaign during August, and we tried to get as many people out there during August. We had over 3,000 events at ranges and retailers across the country, and we had 18 different manufacturers in the industry get on board that donated some awesome prizes, and we kind of revolved it all around. We themed National Shooting Sports Month, around the plus one movement, and it's like you're going to the range, bring somebody new. And now that the month is over, let's keep it going. Like, let's keep this thing going like every day is National Shooting Sports Day.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the website, and you have videos to help people with their introduction. You got, celebrate the moment, range day, getting the proper gun fit. You have safety tips. You got 3 tips for bringing someone new to the range. You basically make it easy. And, I tell people, look, if you want to do something for the Second Amendment, if you want to do something for gun ownership, there's nothing better than bringing more safe, responsible people into shooting. And, maybe they pick it up and they do it. Maybe it's a one-time deal. But generally, and it's been my experience, the first time they shoot, it's like they may be nervous. They may be, let me back up. The first thing you have to tell them, you have to stress to them, is we're going to be safe. Everything we're going to do here is going to be safe. And if at any point you're nervous about it, speak up. But then after they fire that first shot, they turn around and look at you and just have that huge grin on their face. And then they say, well, can I do some more? And you go, yeah, you keep shooting and we'll keep loading these guns. It'll be good.
Yep. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to doing my part next month. My neighbors, they keep asking me. They know what I do for a living. And they're like, when are you going to take us shooting? So next month, we're all going to take a day off in October. My wife's going to come. We're going to make it a nice little double date. We're going to go shoot some sporting clays, and I'm sure everybody's going to have a blast.
Well, and then, of course, the other thing you can do, encourage people to share that experience, because everybody's all about sharing now, social media. So take pictures, take videos, share all that. Because honestly, what we really want in the end is we want the public, the general public, to look at that and go, well, they're having fun. Those are my neighbors. That's my banker. That's my kid's teacher. Those are like regular people. That's not what the media's been telling me.
No, you make a great point. Yeah, you're on Facebook, and you name them, people you grew up with that you don't talk to anymore, and you've gone your separate ways. But yeah, you see those pictures of people out there. Everybody likes it. And that brings up another good point, too. On Facebook, we actually created a +1 group. So I'd encourage everybody to seek that out. It's already over 10,000 people have joined this thing, and it's just a bunch of people sharing awesome pictures of bringing new people and opening up new conversations about bringing new people and the best way to do it and the best firearms to use for certain types of people and so forth. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, that thing is growing all the time. We just launched that a month ago, and we already over 10,000 people in that group. But if you just search Let's Go Shooting on Facebook, you can go to the page and you'll find the group there, and I encourage everybody to join that.
I'm just thinking here as you're talking, would there be any reason not to just, like with all your Facebook friends, just put out an offer and say, look, if anybody wants to go shooting, if anybody out here has not been shooting before, if you want to go, I will take you, and we'll go do it safely, and you'll have fun, and just make an open invitation.
Love it. Yeah, it would be awesome. Imagine if everybody in the country did that. It would be amazing.
I'm reminded of the old line, and it moves us into politics, but it's talking about the NRA. They say, well, the NRA has 5 million people and members, and they said, well, what could we do if we had 20 million? Says the answer is anything we wanted.
Yep.
So, when you have more people involved in the shooting sports across the board, they suddenly see reports from the media in a different way. They go, wait, we're honest, safe, responsible gun owners, and this is fun. So it changes how the public reacts on policy things, but also, frankly, it just helps out, everybody. If you have more shooters, you're going to end up with more ranges. You're going to have more access. You're going to have more places to shoot. If you have more shooters, I'm thinking about long term now, you're going to have manufacturers who are bringing out more products and more cool stuff. So we all win on that deal.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And if you know somebody that's kind of on the fence and kind of gives you some pushback or whatever, they might be the best person to bring out and teach them firearm safety. Just show them what it's all about, because it really could change somebody's mind.
That's a good idea. If you have somebody that says, I just don't know about you people with guns, say, okay, let's go out to the range. And, if you want to know, if you want to be intellectually honest about this, not trying to put anybody on the spot, but just say, if you think you would like to, we'll go out and we'll do as much or as little as you want. We'll do it really easy. We'll do it safely. We'll, take little baby steps. Some people will not take you up on it, but a lot of people will.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like we always say, it's fear of the unknown. Like a lot of these people just are afraid because they just have no idea what it's all about.
Okay, and I got to say one other thing, Bill. We're talking about all this and what it does for the people you take out and all that. But I will tell you, it is for the person who's taking people out, for you and for me, it is honestly more fun to do that than it is to just go out and shoot by ourselves. It is so much fun to introduce somebody to this.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. I took my cousin recently for the first time, and just the first time he hit, I brought him clay target shooting, and the first time he hit a target, like, it was like the biggest smile I've ever seen on somebody. And then he started hitting them all. He was doing great, and it ended up being such a good day.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love this stuff. So that is wonderful. All right. The website is letsgoshooting.org, letsgoshooting.org, and you look for the +1 movement. Sign up, take the pledge, and it's going to have all this information that helps you basically do it correctly, do it well, and get involved. And I would, say not just one, not just two. See how many people you could introduce to shooting.
Yeah, I encourage everybody out there.
Very
Take
good.
the pledge, bring somebody new, and, let's make a difference.
Thanks, Bill. Appreciate it. Bill Dunn from the National Shooting Sports Foundation. It's letsgoshooting.org. Take care.
Thank you, Tom.
We'll be right back with more Gun Talk.
FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms. You want to reach for history, for greatness. So reach for the FN-57, a 5.7-millimeter pistol built with the DNA of over a century of legendary FN firearms. And now, it's within reach at your local firearms dealer. The FN-57 is the perfect combination of accuracy and stopping power. FN, the world's most battle-proven firearms.
This land, once wild and free, fades now from our memory. But I remember what it was like, what we were like, what we are capable of when we band together. Perhaps more than any other landscape, wetlands embody the life-giving abundance that nature has to offer. And perhaps more than any other organization, Ducks Unlimited is working to ensure that our continent's wetlands not only survive, but thrive for generations well beyond this one. These natural wonders are where waterfowl begin their cycle of life, where the deer and the antelope play, and where we, the people, gather together to see and share what makes the outdoors so great. The time is now to band together with organizations like Ducks Unlimited. The time is now to rescue our wetlands.
Tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. Since 1979, Surefire has designed, machined, and assembled the finest flashlights and weapon-mounted lights right here in the U.S. From everyday carry flashlights with 1200 lumens and mil-spec hard anodized finishes to the most reliable weapon lights on the market for duty use or your home defense firearm, Surefire has what you need. American built, American strong. Visit surefire.com.
Back with you here, Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN, or call me at Tom Talk Gun. We're pretty much open lines. If you want to yak about a particular gun you're thinking about buying, one that you did buy, think about buying a self-defense gun, don't know where to start, I'll help you with that. Not a problem. We'll talk our way through it. And here's the thing. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I'm not going to make fun of you. And if you don't like guns, if you think we need more gun control, call me. I'll give you the floor. We're going to do it in a polite, responsible way. We're going to show concern and respect for each other. I'll listen to what you have to say, and then I would ask that you listen to what I have to say and figure out if we can find some middle ground there. I'm sure open to that conversation, at least. 866-TALK-GUN. Looking at an article here. Studies find no evidence that assault weapons bans reduce homicide rates. Well, logically, that makes sense, but it is good to have studies, if they're done without an agenda in mind. And unfortunately, there's, you may not know, there's actually an industry of gun control research out there. There are people that's how they make their living, is doing research, with big air quotes around the word research, about guns to come up with reasons for banning guns or for restricting guns or for having any kind of restriction on gun owners. And the research starts out with a premise, and then they set out to prove it. Okay? That's what was happening at the CDC. When people say, well, you know, the government, Congress, passed a law that says the government can't do gun research. Anybody who says that either doesn't know, but also maybe they don't know. Okay, let's just be fair about it. Maybe they don't know. But a lot of them do know. And they know it's not true. Okay? They know it's not true. Oh, yeah, and thank you, Kelly, from Oklahoma calling saying, yeah, we're coming up on September 11. Never forget where you were on September 11. A lot of people, it's interesting, September 11 and Katrina prompted a lot of people to go buy guns, take firearms training classes. And it's interesting because it's not as though having a gun would have necessarily made a difference in any of those cases. But what it did, and this is my theory, okay, what it did was it stripped away the very thin veil where we allow ourselves to think that we have this civilization that is making us safe and protects us. And every once in a while, something happens and you realize, wow, we are just a moment away from having no one there to take care of us. And then if you're a thinking person, if you look at the video from Hurricane Katrina, where the rapes and the looting and the murders happened, and you look at New York when people are running in the streets trying to get away from this horrific attack, if you're a thinking person, you look at that and go, well, the reality is, when I look at that, I say, okay, it doesn't take much to make us vulnerable. And then you go, well, wait, is that what's really going on here? Or is it just that it doesn't take much for us to realize that we're vulnerable anyway? That in point of fact, no one's there to take care of us. People say, well, yeah, we got the police. Look, the police are great. Okay, cool. But really, seriously, let's just get down to the brass tacks on the deal. If you are being attacked and you call the police, do you think they will get there in time to stop the attack? Really? Seriously? I mean, come on. Do you think they're going to get there in time to stop this attack? That's assuming you can get to a phone. That's assuming that you can get your phone out and dial it while you're being attacked. Really? Huh. So what is your plan? If you think about it and you can actually come up with the honest, logical conclusion that, okay, yeah, they're not actually going to be here in time to stop this attack. And somebody's trying to steal my 5-year-old and put her in a car and drive away, and all I have is my cell phone, there's a nightmare for you. What is your plan? Seriously, what is your plan? Line 2, Tim's with us out of Carson City, Nevada. Tim, thanks for calling in. You're on Gun Talk.
Hey, Tom. Always a great show. The reason I was calling is I had an idea for a graph that we can make into something that we can present to legislators to make them understand that the AR-15 has been around since the mid-'60s, since prior to the Gun Control Act in 1968. And to plot that, maybe John Lott might have this data, to plot the total per capita amount of AR-15s from mid-'60s through today, and then actual mass shootings calculated correctly per capita over the same time, and perhaps also with an overlay of the introduction and wide use of opioids or other psychotic drugs in the populace, to see how that impacts it, because I think a lot of legislators believe that these weapons are brand new. You hear them all the time, weapons of war don't belong in the streets.
Right.
But if they try to understand, just like you've said, you, back when you were a kid, you could order a gun through the mail. These are widely available. You know, you had the 1911, obviously came out over 100 years ago.
And let me jump in. In 1962, I went deer hunting, shot my first deer with a magazine-fed semi-automatic rifle in a caliber that's much more powerful than your typical AR-15. This was in a .308 semi-automatic, detachable box magazine. 1962. I'm 11 years old. You know,
Right.
nothing new about this and nothing sinister about this. I was just on Twitter with a guy who's saying, you know, you said there are tens of millions of semi-automatics out there. Where do you get those numbers? I go, well, hello, where have you been? You know, ATF numbers, NICS checks. I mean, on and on and on. Manufacturers, the numbers are out there. There's no secret that there are tens of millions of people who own semi-automatic firearm or rifles. If you start including shotguns and rifles, there's, who knows, there probably are hundreds, literally hundreds of millions of those firearms out there. I like your point, Tim, because I think you're right. I think a lot of legislators, Congress people, think these things have popped up in the last 5 or 10 years and they're new. And here's the other thing I hear, and let me bounce this off of you. I keep hearing from people say, and they have no use other than to murder people. I'm thinking, well, let's see. If we got 20 million of them and you have 52 people a year being murdered with them, what's going on with the rest of them?
Right, that's right. Well, that's just it. If they came out in the mid '60s, where are all the terrible crimes that happened over that initial 20-year period following their introduction, plus 25 years? Well,
yeah, so, and then you add on that over the last 20 years, murders are down by half and gun crime is down by 70%, according to the FBI. So wait, murders are down by 50%, even though we have tens of millions of people carrying loaded guns for self-protection. Gun crime is down by 70% over the last 20 years. And, oh, yeah, every report I can see, every study I've seen, and by the way, thank you, Tim, I appreciate the call. Every report I've seen says that, to Tim's point, people who have carry permits are, as far as I can find, the most law-abiding, identifiable group of people there is. I mean, police commit crime at a rate of 6 times that of concealed carry permit holders. The general public commits crime at a rate of 100 times higher than those with carry permits. 100 times. The person walking down the street who doesn't have a carry permit is 100 times more likely to commit a crime. Crazy, huh? 866-TALK-GUN will get you in here. Yes, I have to cough every now and then. I'm still fighting it off. I'm gonna hang in there, though. I'm still with you. Your range reports are welcome. If you think about buying something, let me know. If you're taking somebody to the range, we have one of those reports coming up right now, so don't go far. Again, 866-TALK-GUN.
A girl can't go wrong with something in basic black, like an AR-15.
Some things never go out of style, like Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
All right, we're back with you. Tom Gresham, 866-TALK-GUN. Very easy. We're pretty much open lines. If you want to know about a particular gun, want to tell me about a gun, cool. Also, in 30 minutes or so, we're going to be announcing a brand new gun. It actually gets officially announced tomorrow. Some videos have leaked out. You'll be able to look at our video. We have shot it. It'll be on our YouTube and our Facebook website for Gun Talk tomorrow. I think that's when we release it, because that's the official release. But we'll be talking about it here. It's crazy. As I say, I think it's going to drive the internet trolls nuts. It's going to be fun to watch. Let's see. Line 4. Nathan is with us out of Fort Worth, Texas. Hey, Nathan, what you been up to?
Not much, Tom. I took a friend of mine to the gun for my first range report. He asked me to clean a pistol he had inherited, and I turned that into a required trip for him to understand how to shoot and use the firearm. And it was just a little .22 pistol, but it hadn't been fired in 25 years.
Right.
So he wanted somebody that could take a look at it, make sure it was workable.
Right.
And I took him there. I think it's the first time he's ever fired a pistol. He enjoyed it. Being an engineer, he was more concentrating on accuracy than speed, and I think he had a good time.
Well, good. How old is your friend?
Go ahead, sorry.
How old is your friend?
50.
Hadn't been shooting much then, I take it.
No, he hadn't. He'd not grown up with it, so it was his first time.
Interesting. Okay, but he had a good time. All right, but you didn't stop there. It looks like you got a question about or a report about a combat class you took.
Yeah, I took a combative class. I called it a day and a half. It was after work on Friday and all day Saturday, training edged weapons and close quarter pistol.
Okay.
No, not live fire. It was all blue gun and airsoft and plastic knives that made a noise.
Right.
But the training was conducted by red-beard combatives out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Quality guy and a stand-up person as well.
So what'd you get from that? And when you're trying to tell people about it, this is the takeaway from a day and a half of doing this close quarters combative stuff. What do you tell people?
It's scary, but you've got to close the distance, engage the combatant, and don't give up. And we got a couple techniques, but it's always homework that you're going to have to continue training. But it's not super ninja skills, but some solid basics. But you can't let them get distance on you. You got to close the distance, engage, and continue to fight.
Well, you've either got to get distance to get away, or you got to close the distance if they're already inside a certain distance. But obviously, if you can get more distance where you can pull your gun out and shoot them, that's not a bad thing either.
Right. I guess I should preface the course was not necessarily a shooting course. It was you're already in bad breath range. There
you go. Yeah. At that point, you've got to figure out a way to trap. You're learning traps. You're learning different things, different moves. I just did a 5-day course like that in the spring at Gunsight, and probably my biggest takeaway was this is the biggest steaming pile of what. You just do not want to be there, and it's kind of one of those. You better be more alert and more awake because, man, this can come at you in a hurry.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know, if that's what your takeaway is, but that was mine. It's kind of like, wow, this is somebody up that close, especially when they know what they're doing, they can hurt you really bad.
And some of the videos he showed of, confrontations, it happens quick, people freeze, and got to get off the X.
Yep. No, exactly right. I appreciate that. Thank you, Nathan. I appreciate the call. Paul is on one out of Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Hey, Paul, you're on Gun Talk. I heard you took you're taking your granddaughter out. She's got the whole left eye dominant thing going.
Well, I'm going to take her out, but I'd like some advice from you first.
Sure.
I'm going to be buying her first rifle.
Okay.
Right-handed, left eye dominant. I'd like a rifle at 8 years she can learn to shoot on, but as an adult, she'll still consider it her rifle. And I'm thinking of a Ruger 1022. And that way there's not a bolt that's on one side or the other. She has to work all the time. My question is, has anybody had a problem being left eye dominant or right-handed with the spent casing being injected in front of their face?
Well, I am right-handed and left eye dominant. Okay.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So basically, what you're talking about is just using a right-handed semi-auto off the left shoulder, and I've shot those all my life. To date, so far, I haven't seen an empty go by, because if you're looking at the sights, what are you doing looking at the ejection port? And you're wearing shooting glasses, so that's not going to be a problem. In other words, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But let me back up. She's 8 years old.
Yeah.
A 1022 might be too big for her, frankly. I love the 1022. But you may be in a position where she's going to need an 8-year-old gun, and then she's going to need an 11-year-old gun, depending on how big she is. Because typically a girl at 8 is not very big and not really super strong. And a little single-shot 22 with a short stock and a short barrel. Marlin makes one. I think they call it the Papoose. I think it's a little bolt action. You may want to look at something like that. And then, in 3 or 4 years when she's bigger, if she still likes shooting, then you go with the 1020. Not that 1022 is bad. I love it. But I'm just thinking the problem is the stock. The stock is going to be long for her. And they even have them with, spacers, but they don't really go that short. I think you're going to need to get something that's really made for really small kids. And and they're not expensive. You're talking probably $150 or something for one of those. And then Jim's mentioned the Cricket.
Yeah,
and I've seen the Cricket. I'm not a fan, mainly because of you've got a cocking piece you have to pull back, and it can be difficult for a youngster to pull this cocking piece back and cock the gun, and I'm not a real fan of that. So other than that, the rifle's nice and small, but that would not be my first choice, and I have some experience with that. But I would just offer that as a consideration, is to think about something that's really small. You got to get the fit right first. If it doesn't fit, if it's too long, if it's uncomfortable for her to hold and shoot, she's not going to like it. All right? I appreciate it, sir. Listen, it's a quick break here. We'll come back. 866 Talk Gun. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk.
For more than 70 years, Timney Triggers has been enhancing the shooter's experience. Whether it's a local competition, a day at the range, or even the hunt of a lifetime. Setting the standard in aftermarket triggers, Timney is now producing more than 170 models of triggers for bolt-action rifles, shotguns, AR rifles, and semi-automatic rifles. Proudly made in the USA since 1946. Find your new trigger at timneytriggers.com.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
You got your carry permit, and that's good. But you know you could use more training. Get the DVDs, which have what you need. Springfield Armory presents Concealed Carry 1 and Concealed Carry 2 with Bata Group. Learn specific concealed carry skills from Top Gun fighting trainers. Get trained. Be prepared. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
The old saying, "There is strength in numbers," holds true when fighting unmeritorious prosecution or a lawsuit after a self-defense shooting. The Armed Citizens Legal Defense Network has over 17,000 members and $2 million for our members' legal expenses after an act of self-defense. Shouldn't you be part of the network too? Learn more at armedcitizensnetwork.org or call us at 360-978-5200.
Having some trouble with the numbers around here. Let's go over it again. 0.003 is 0.3%. Not 0.003, because 0.1, let's see, is that me right? 0.1 is 10%. 0.01 is 1%. At 0.001 would be 0.1%. Then again, I did fail junior math, so who knows? Going over this stuff here. But yeah, if you're talking about percentages, 0.10 would be 10%. Generally, is how it's put together. So anyway, but what we're talking about was that semi-automatic rifles make up 0.3% of the guns used in murders. 0.3%. Fascinating. Yet we want to ban those, huh? Really? Okay. Steve. Line 5, Atlanta, Georgia. Steve, welcome.
Hey, Tom. I had a question for you about a 1911 Smith & Wesson. On a televised episode of your show, can't remember when, where I saw it, you were sporting a 1911 Performance Center, 5-inch full-size, the one with the pretty blue stocks on it.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
I'm looking to get into one. I wanted to get your take on it. Not that I need an excuse to buy a new gun. I just want to get your take.
Yeah, I'm just going to enable you right now. I mean, here's the deal. We start off with, okay, if it comes out of the Smith & Wesson Performance Center, it's good, right? You start off knowing that, right?
Okay.
Do you have anything from the Performance Center?
I have a 627, the little 2.6-inch snubby 8-shot.
Nice.
And I'm very, very happy with that.
Right. Well, now the other question is, are you a 1911 guy?
Love 1911s. The reason I decided to get one is I was going through my my accumulation, and I realized that I have a lot of Smith & Wesson revolvers, but I don't have a Smith & Wesson semi-auto, and that's the one that I'm thinking about getting.
Well, they have several in the line. You might want to just kind of poke around and look to see which you like the looks of.
Okay.
Anything out of the Performance Center is going to be finely honed and going to work really well, and the trigger is going to be exquisite. And, there's something else here, and you know what I'm talking about, is that it's hard to explain to people who are not really into this, but there is a certain pride of ownership of having something that's just, it's like having a really fine watch, not an electronic watch, not something you put a battery in, but a mechanical watch where you go, boy, the work that went into this is cool. This is really neat. And I realize that not everybody's going to get it, but I do. And I like to wear it, and I like to shoot it, and it just makes me smile every time I take it to the range.
Because, you have the best of the best. So I've looked at some of the E-Series and some of the Scandium, some of their other 1911s, but I thought, I could buy one of these and be really happy, but I would always look at it and think, I could have spent a little more and gotten the best one they make. Plus, I am a fan of the full-size 1911s. I like the Commander size, the 4 and 4.25 inch barrels, but the full size, you just can't beat them.
Well, and I was going to ask you, what's it for? Because if it's for concealed carry, then I'm going to throw in a bid for the Scandium, because I think it is one of the neatest carry guns, if you like 1911s, because it is both lightweight and very strong. A lot of the aluminum alloy lightweight guns are really not made to shoot that much. You probably have a 5,000 or 10,000 round lifespan out of some of those. The Scandium, you can just shoot it forever. So if it's for carry, I might take a look at that. But otherwise, I think you're looking in the right place.
Yeah, I do. Well, Tom, I can carry a full-size steel 1911. I'm a significant individual, and I can definitely carry a heavier pistol.
Oh God, I love that. I have never heard it put that way before. A significant individual.
I'm lightweight, and I'm not a fan of lightweight. I have lightweight guns, but for carry, I prefer a full-size combat pistol.
Now, have you ever shot a 1911 in 9mm?
I have, but call me old-fashioned, but to me, a 1911 takes a 45 ACP. It chambers a 45 ACP.
I get it.
I love a 1911 with 9mm soft shooting. You can get a lot more accuracy, faster follow-ups.
Right.
I love them, but to me, 1911 is 45 ACP all day long.
Yeah, in fact, when you say 45 automatic, in your mind you see a 1911.
Yes. Yep, they go together.
Well, you'll be happy with the Performance Center gun, I guarantee you. I mean, nobody ever is not. You'll love it, and it looks good, and it shoots well. And tell you what, do me a favor. After you get it and you've had a chance to shoot it, give us a call back and give us a range report on it.
That I wouldn't mind that in the least. I would like to do that. Do you have on your website? Can I send you a video clip if I?
Yeah, in fact, it might be easier. Go to our look for Gun Talk Media on Facebook, but also on the website you could do that well. And I'm Tom at guntalk.com. I'm pretty easy to find, so you can hunt me down that way as well. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that. Now, Roger, don't go anywhere. I'm going to get to you. I got to hit a break here in about 30 seconds, but Fort Smith, Arkansas, we're going to absolutely get to you. Also, we've got room if you want to join us, 866-TALK-GUN. If there's a gun that you think you might want to buy, I can give you permission. I will absolutely give you absolution for buying a new gun, or maybe even an old gun. Sometimes. Yeah, I've been on Gun Broker. I've been looking at some of the old guns. I was actually, weirdly enough, we're looking at a Robar 1911. By the way, Robar, that great company out of Arizona, they're going out of business. They're returning all the guns they had in stock, and it's a shame. They make great guns, and they had great metal finishes, some of the best. I've recommended them for 20 years. Robar, no more. I hate to see that, man. Awful. 866-TALK-GUN. What are you thinking about buying? Or as they like to say, what's in your holster? 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. Line 4, Roger's with us out of Fort Smith, Arkansas. Roger, thank you for your patience hanging on there. What's on your mind?
Oh, I just wanted to say that that's not really Democrats anymore. It's just the left, and they're bound and determined to take over. And I think that this gun stuff, gun registration and stuff, is they know that mostly conservatives are the ones that are not going to comply with this, and it's a good way, and they're going to make a felon out of us and take the right to vote away from us is what it's all about, I think.
Let me ask you, you're right there in northern Arkansas, actually northwest Arkansas, not too far from Bentonville, home of Walmart. What's your take? What are you hearing around that part of the world as far as Walmart's stand with the left, their stand with the gun ban lobby?
I don't really know about that, but I do know that that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I'm going to try not to ever darken their door. They've been going left, and this is the third generation of Walmart, and that they quit selling ARs and stuff, and now they're going to quit selling handgun ammunition. And I assume, I figure before long it's going to cut their sales down so much. I figure they'll just quit selling guns altogether here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
I don't buy from them anyhow. I got a local gun store that I patronize.
Well, what's interesting is that, I was looking in a picture of display at, I guess, the Walmart Museum. They got Sam Walton's pickup truck. And guess what's in the seat of his pickup truck? It's a semi-automatic shotgun. It's a Remington 1100. Sam Walton, in his pickup truck, he's got a semi-automatic firearm as part of the Walmart display there. I don't know. It just drives me crazy. Roger, look, thank you. I appreciate your call. I appreciate your take on this. Walmart, in case you didn't hear, had the news earlier, they were actually a charter member signing on to the Everytown for Gun Safety, the Bloomberg Group's efforts. They're proudly proclaiming that. You notice they did not mention that when they said we're going to stop selling ammunition for ARs. Nowhere in that did they mention, well, we're now walking in lockstep with the Bloomberg gun ban lobby. But on their website, if you dig down, you can find that they say, yes, we're a charter member of their programs. Really? So Walmart now has landed squarely on the confiscation side, because there's no delineation between blocking the selling of something to blocking the ownership of something. Walmart has landed firmly on the left side. And make no mistake, the Everytown for Gun Safety, the Bloomberg Group, it's a gun ban group. When they call for the banning of semi-automatic rifles, whether they're ARs or whatever they are, it's a confiscation. There's nothing else. There seems to be some confusion out there in the part of the public who think that this is something new. President Teddy Roosevelt hunted with a semi-automatic rifle. 50 years ago, I hunted my first deer hunt with a magazine-fed detachable magazine. Oh, detachable magazines, yes. If it's got a detachable magazine, you can have a magazine of any size on there. When they say, well, it's a semi-automatic firearm capable of taking a magazine, a high-capacity magazine. Well, that would have been 50 years ago. We hunted deer with it. I just had somebody on Twitter say, well, yeah, but if you shoot a deer with your semi-automatic rifle, there'll be nothing left of it. There'll be nothing left to eat. Wow, it's just like, who are you listening to? Where are you getting this much misinformation? I mean, millions and millions and millions of people use semi-automatic firearms for hunting. Every year, they eat what they take. It's just nuts. Hey, don't go far. When we come back, I want to tell you about a brand new gun. It's going to drive the internet trolls crazy. You're going to find it fascinating. I have honestly never seen anything like it, but I think it's really something special. That's coming right up.